Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. We're speaking about Meta at 30, Metamorphosis Dance Company celebrating 30 years in dance. Joining us this morning is Artistic Director Nancy Herrera and choreographer Ronald Taylor to share with us what definitely is a milestone for the company. Good morning to both of you and welcome.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a pleasure to have both of you on the show with us this morning to celebrate this and to learn so much more. We're familiar with the name. We know that the company, of course, is a household name throughout Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, but to see 30 years is definitely something that we're all going to put in our books. So, Nancy, let's start at the beginning. Can you give us a little bit of the history of the Metamorphosis Dance Company?
Three of us, Crystal D'Souza, Carol Ipchoy, and myself, were teaching at Caribbean School of Dancing 30 years ago. And we saw a need to take the more talented, more committed dancers into semi-professional life. And that's how we started. It was the passionate students, and there was also the creative faculty of the school whose work could have been, needed to be, highlighted in a, as I say, in a semi-professional way. So off we went 30 years ago.
And did you think when you started in 1994 that you would be here today and see the growth of the company?
I have to say yes, because I'm a very optimistic person. I never saw it as just a small dance company. I always thought of it as an experience, and that's what it was. I say it's both a transformative and a formative company. It's always been, we're always batted higher than our status.
And I mean, the thing is, we see that high standard with every show. So it's wonderful to see that this is now coming forward 30 years. Ronald, let's bring you into the conversation. Good morning again.
Good morning.
And welcome home.
Thank you very much.
For those of you that don't know, Ronald is a choreographer. You live in Canada.
Yes, I do live in Canada.
Excellent. And you are here, of course, to be working with Metamorphosis Dance Company. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with the company.
Well, it goes all the way back from the inception of the company, and a household name, Astor Johnson, which we can't get, rid of, because he was so instrumental in dance. When he passed, he was doing a work for a Caribbean school called the Enchanting Hive, and they had asked me to come in to finish the work. It was very nerve-wracking because, Astor had a very high standard dance in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean as a whole. So I came in and I did that, and over the years, so I'm back now 30 years to choreograph a piece called Take a Sleek 1,000 Steps Between the Raindrops.
Oh, wow. Take a sleek 1,000 steps. I wasn't expecting it to be that long. All right, one can only imagine how intense this is going to be. What has preparation been like for this?
Well, it's the first time that I'm doing a piece of choreography where I have to leave it in the choreographer's, in the artistic director, and in the company's hand and be somewhere else. So I must admit it's been a little nerve-wracking, but I've come home in time to set the nuances and all that the piece needs to do, to heighten it and to contribute to Meta's activity.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to see those finishing touches. Nancy, bringing you back into the conversation, how is the company going to be celebrating these 30 years?
Well, we did a commemorative brochure, which when you come on the evening of the show, which is the 4th and 5th of May at Napa, there's a commemorative brochure to buy. And at the show itself, you get to see a span of the work. The show opens exactly how we opened 30 years ago. The first piece, called Everything Comes to an End, exactly how we opened 30 years ago, we've opened. And then we've picked pieces over the years. So it'll be some looking back and a lot of where we are now looking forward.
Will we see any dancers from 1994 in our 2024 show?
Dancers, the actual dancers, no. They are all in the program as dancing in New York.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and most of the dancers, we're a net exporter of dancers, unfortunately, as they metamorphose out of Trinidad and they fly their wings. So every year we have 3 or 4 dancers leaving to go on to dance abroad.
Beautiful. What age do you take dancers from?
In the company, we
yeah.
usually pick people at a standard rather than an age. So it's the intermediate standard in the dancing school. And if you hit that at 13, enter. If it's you need a little more time. But we've had a very good set of present-day dancers, and some of them are as young as 14.
That is incredible. We're seeing some images on the screen from international tours, and we need to get to that. But before we get to that, Ronald, what is it like working with the Metamorphosis Dance Company and these selected dancers?
Well, I must say, first of all, I am on a tour of giving back. And I choose Metamorphosis because of the standard, starting from the school itself, where I was trained and to hone my craft from Patricia Rowe. So I needed that discipline because dance requires a lot of discipline and dedication. So coming back to the company, setting the standard that they've had at the 30 years, really sort of move into my sphere, into my being, into knowing that I was going back there at that high standard, which I require a lot in my profession.
Definitely, it is something that is required. It's no easy feat in any way whatsoever. You have to be disciplined.
Not, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we see dancers gracing the stage and it looks so effortless, but the hours that go into it, the preparation, the mental discipline as well, is something that's so important.
It's incremental development and growth. It's not instantaneous.
Right.
So you really have to work. You can't get out what you didn't put in.
That's it.
And that is hard in this sort of very social media age.
That's it.
You know, where you can just click. You cannot just click.
No, you can't. You will have to be doing it over and over again. Now let's talk about the fact that you also have some international tours as well.
Yes, Metamorphosis has toured internationally. We've had tours of 2 tours of England. We've toured India. We've toured the States. We've gone to Suriname and through the Caribbean over the years.
And how does it feel to know that you've done all these tours and you're coming back home to celebrate the 30 years?
Well, I mean, this is our home. This is our base.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're coming back home in that we went out on all those tours. I think that it's been a really rewarding experience and reflecting of what we've achieved over 30 years. I think that is what has, if nothing else, has been an amazing moment for me. I'm also teaching 40 years as my career, so this is like a big year for me and a big thank you, because it is the strength of my teaching and the strength of the dance company is highly collaborative work. In this town, we can't afford to pay for anything. So everybody, we're still working. We have a different concept of money in the arts. So, for instance, the NSSO is playing, this is the National Steel, is paying for us for free and compose for free. At the point at which they're having a show, we have to, dance. And that has been for all the designers, whether it's been a Carlisle, a Pat Bishop, We really have had, huge international connections. Our patron is the soloist at the Royal Birmingham Ballet. We have connections with Peter London, who was an ex-soloist and an associate artistic director at the Graham, and he brought us a Graham piece. So, I mean, it's overwhelmingly, fulfilling when you see that. The journey has been hard, and we really need the money. But you have to come to see the show. The 4th and 5th of May.
And how much are tickets?
Only 200 available at Napa box office. And remember, cash at the box office.
Cash at the box office. Thank you so much for joining us. I wish we had more time. Hopefully we can have you back to continue the discussion. But it's been a pleasure. Nancy, thank you. Ronald, thank you. Looking forward to what's going to be happening on the 4th and 5th of May. You don't want to miss it. Meta at 30. And you don't want to miss what's coming up after this break. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Stay tuned.